The final chapter of the popular manga Attack on Titan was released on April 9th, 2021, and it concluded after 139 chapters. Although moments foreshadowed in the first chapter were covered, and many mysteries scattered throughout the manga were solved, there were still some that remained unresolved, even after the completion of the story. So, in this video, I looked at the mysteries in Attack on Titan that were left unanswered, and gathered the ones mentioned the most in the comments. Some of these mysteries can be solved by examining them closer, so I'll be including my explanations with those. Please be aware that this video contains spoilers for the final chapter of the manga. Moses Braun. Moses Braun is the character who, at the beginning of the first chapter of Attack on Titan, attacks a Titan while saying, "Let's teach this thing the power of the human race." It was a cool scene where he looked like the main character, but he shows up later in the same chapter with nothing left of him but an arm. Moses must have been killed by the Titans, but he would later attract the attention of many readers. The reason was because Moses Braun had the same last name as Reiner Braun, the heir to the armored Titan. This started a rumor that the two of them might be related. Reiner is an important character who is even said by some to be the other protagonist of Attack on Titan. In addition to their names, Moses and Reiner both have blonde hair and even look alike. Because of this, and because Attack on Titan loves to put many hints to future events, readers thought Moses might be important in some ways that we didn't yet realize. But, as it turns out, the name Moses Braun might have been created due to a mistake by the author, Isayama sensei. In the manga, Moses' mother calls him Braun, when she should have called him Moses. The author had named him Braun on accident. I think since the author made his name Braun in the manga, when it was really Moses, to make everything make sense, the name Braun became his last name, then it's safe to assume he's not related to Reiner Braun, and he didn't have a more important role. However, given Moses' beautiful attack, and the fact that Erwin wasn't the commander of the scouts yet, people think that Moses might have been as strong as a squad leader. The mystery of the armor bottle. In chapter 66, the main character, Eren, gains the armored Titan's ability to harden itself by ingesting a liquid from a bottle labeled armor. There are two major mysteries about this armor bottle. The first is whether it had anything to do with Reiner Braun, the heir to the armored Titan. At the time, it was a mystery how Eren was able to acquire the ability to harden simply by drinking this armor bottle. Later, in chapter 133, it's revealed that the heirs to the 9 Titans can gain some of the abilities of the others by taking in parts of them. It's said that Annie's Titan, the female, could gain the abilities of the other Titans the easiest, so she was forced to drink lots of weird things. And because of that, Annie also got the ability to harden. Falco, the Jaw Titan, also drank some of the spinal fluid of Zeke, the Beast Titan, and after transforming, later took on a bird-like form and displayed characteristics of the Beast Titan. Based on this, we know that the liquid in the armor bottle was spinal fluid from the heir of the armored Titan. If Eren took in spinal fluid from the heir of the armored Titan, that would explain why he gained the ability to harden. But if that's true, the second mystery is when was the fluid taken from Reiner's spinal cord, and why was it so conveniently lying around in a place like that? The armor bottle probably belonged to Rod Reiss, a member of the royal family, but there doesn't seem to be any connection between him and Reiner. It's likely that the armor bottle isn't Reiner's spinal fluid, but fluid taken from a past heir of the armored Titan. The royal family may have created a stock of fluids from past generations of the 9 Titans. The Reiss, who have inherited the power of the founding Titan for generations, had to inject Titan spinal fluid into their bodies to pass on the founding Titan. So it's likely that they have been collecting spinal fluid for many years. In addition, Rod Reiss has a scene where he's saying, "This shot will let you become a powerful Titan," and "I chose the Titan that was most suited for battle." So it seems that he had access to spinal fluid from lots of Titans. In fact, in addition to the armor bottle, a bottle labeled the strongest Titan was also shown. We don't know what kind of spinal fluid it is, but there are rumors that it could be from the founding Titan or the colossal Titan, both of which have the image of being the strongest. And we wish more details were given about this. The mystery of the glowing centipede. One of the biggest mysteries remaining after the conclusion of Attack on Titan was the existence of the creature referred to as a glowing centipede. The glowing centipede is the strange life form that connects Eren's severed head back to his body in Chapter 122. In Chapter 136, Gabby explains that something that looked like a centipede made of light came out of Eren's spine and attached itself to his head. Gabby goes on to say that the glowing centipede could be the true form of the Titan's power. Looking at what happened after that, it seems that Gabby's guess was correct. The history that they were taught says that the power of the Titans was originally gained by a girl named Ymir Fritz after she made a contract with a devil. However, in Chapter 122, the truth of how Ymir transformed into a Titan is shown. Ymir became the first Titan when she was infected by a glowing, centipede-like creature. Titan power was something that Ymir developed after this parasite had fused with her body. But this doesn't mean she became a Titan simply because of the glowing centipede. According to the story of the birth of the founding Titan, told by Zeke in Chapter 137, Ymir's desperate attempt to escape her suffering resulted in the creation of her gigantic body. In other words, it seems that being the host of this parasite, combined with Ymir's biological instinct to escape her suffering, gave rise to the power of Titans. Seeing how the glowing centipede came out of Eren's body, it may have been passed down from generation to generation to those who inherit the founding Titan. The glowing centipede appeared again from Eren's nape in Chapter 137 and wreaked havoc. In Chapter 139, the final chapter, it was gone all of a sudden, and Titan powers disappeared from the world. I'm sure many of you wondered why the glowing centipede just disappeared. As we've seen, Titan's power was greatly influenced by the will of Ymir, so it's possible that the centipede disappeared when Ymir's spirit finally passed on. The centipede could have been a physical manifestation of the will of the founder Ymir. By the way, the strange creature that the founder Ymir became a host for is thought to be based on the long-extinct species, Hallucigenia. It appears in Chapter 137 as an example of life. When Hallucigenia were first discovered, scientists didn't realize they were looking at them upside down and mixing up what was the head and what was the tail. Did you know that in Attack on Titan, the characters they use to write with are upside down and backwards compared to the ones used in the real world? The characters on the armor bottle were also clearly written that way. Because of this, the Hallucigenia, which was viewed upside down and backwards, fits perfectly in the world of Attack on Titan. The parasite was also shaped like a spinal cord, which might have been done to show it was the source of the Titan powers. Babies who inherited the 9 Titans. In Chapter 88, it's revealed that if a person with one of the 9 Titans, including Eren's Attack Titan, dies without passing the power on, this power will be inherited by a subject of Ymir born after their death. There is no real contradiction with this setting, but it's not clearly stated how the babies inherit the power. Also, since this rule had very little use in the story, there are many people wondering what purpose it had in the first place. Mikasa's headache. One of the biggest mysteries in Attack on Titan was the cause of the chronic headaches of our heroine, Mikasa. Mikasa's headaches were first shown in the 2nd chapter, and since it's happened several times since then, it was assumed that a reason would eventually be given. However, when the last chapter released, this still hadn't been clearly explained. It was a mystery even after the last chapter came out, but was later covered in Volume 34's version of the last chapter. In a survey taken at the time of the final chapter's release, this was the most popular mystery remaining after the series' conclusion. We've gone into detail about the cause of Mikasa's headaches in previous videos. Before we knew the truth, readers were commenting that it was a migraine caused by stress. There was a theory that it was her girl's day, which also received lots of support. If that was the case, the truth would have been much simpler than anyone thought. But we also saw lots of interesting theories about Mikasa's headaches from other readers. Even if they didn't turn out to be true, it would be fun to go back and talk about them in a future video. These are the mysteries that remained even after the last chapter of Attack on Titan released. If you have any other questions, please feel free to comment. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in the next video.